Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman. Hold on. Slocky. Alright, this is Naaman with the DC Camp Branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. But first and foremost, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rekah Hadash. And of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who are well. Check my volume here. Alright. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out here on the highways and byways. Alright. Week in, week out. Not to mention the volume of videos consistently post throughout various social media sites. Still spreading the word across four corners of the earth. Alright. Well, time still allows us to do so because Amos 8 and 11 and 12 is coming. It's fast approaching. Alright. And we know that by what this current president, the Mango Mussolini, is doing. Because the truth is hurting. The truth is hurting them. And they're trying to push this anti-Sim bullshit and at the same time cutting out the history of the people that those people brought over here. All right? Yes, we understand that they financed the whole transatlantic slave trade, and they got the information, all right, through Ishmael. So we had what? The Hamites, the Ishmaelites, and the Edomites. All right. So now they want to get away, or trying to get away with outright covering up and trying to hide a whole lot of history just off of a whim. Executive order this, executive order that. Now they're trying to close the African American Museum. I think, by the way, here in DC, I think I'll go tomorrow, as a matter of fact, take a lot of pictures because I hear they're withholding, I think it's 200, wait a minute, or is it 2 billion? I was going to say 200 million, or is it 2 billion in funding? And you know, situations like that, a lot of knees tend to bend or bow. All right, so we'll see, because as someone once said, and I might make a video on that, the bottom portion of that is just straight out raw history. You know, it runs you through like a timeline. I've been in front of it, we've camped in front of it before, but I never actually went in. But I think I'll do that tomorrow. But in any case, this video here, if you're not aware, this young man down in Texas just got out, Carmelo Anthony. They charged him with first-degree murder, had his bond set at $1 million. It's been reduced since to 250. And the judge has gone into hiding. All right, so we're going to go ahead and as he's released, this is first of 3 videos that I'm going to use. So, as a matter of fact, since I said that, let's get this out of the way. This is the copyright disclaimer. It says under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. You have to understand this video I'm about to show you. All right, they are constantly trying to assault Jake's character. A large part of that is, and I'm just a layman myself, I'm no expert in psychology, but it's projection. And in fact, let me get that. I did it in another video. Hold on. Because what we're dealing with is the wicked, and the wicked is being exposed. All right. There we go. So, what do you think he has to do? Yeah, he has to draw attention off from himself, right? Here it is. Let's just get the first one. Actually, let's get this one. Hold on. If it'll load. Come on now. Slovakia for the, I have a, whatchamacallit on, a VPN, so, Baba Kushab, bear with me. Psychological projection is a defense mechanism of alterity. Let's see what that word means. In philosophy and anthropology, alterity refers to the state of being other or different. Yeah, it sucks to be you, and it's going to suck. And I'm talking about these Edomites. All right, because again, he's being exposed, right? So let's see. Content mistaken to be coming from the outside or other. All right, it forms the basis of empathy by the projection of personal experiences to understand someone else's subjective world. In its malignant forms, it is a defense mechanism in which the ego defends itself against disowned and highly negative parts of the self, because they know they're a bunch of low-life pieces of shit. The whole race, the whole nation of Edomites, so-called white people. All right? By denying their existence in themselves and attributing them to others, breeding misunderstanding and causing interpersonal damage. Projection incorporates blame shifting and can manifest as shame dumping. Projection has been described as an early phase of introjection. Let's look that up. Because all of this, once you understand who you're dealing with, yeah, okay. This is who you're dealing with. This is, a huge inferiority complex. These people are so fragile. In psychology, introjection, also known as identification or internalization, is the unconscious adoption of the thoughts or personality traits of others. It occurs as a normal part of development, such as a child taking on parental values and attitudes. It can also be a defense mechanism in situations that arouse anxiety. It has been associated with both normal and psychological development. Who is that describing, people? Now, I'll leave the rest of this to, get into psychoanalysis and all that. Let's read this in learning. In psychoanalysis, introjection refers to an unconscious process wherein one takes components of another person's identity. Are they not culture vultures and let me finish reading, such as feelings, experiences, and cognitive functioning, and transfers them inside themselves, making such experiences part of their new psychic structure. What is this telling you? The whole history of these people. This is what it comes down to. This is what everywhere they go, they assimilate other people's identities and cultures into themselves, and they become. Hadn't Great Millstone always told you this? But we're going to use, since they say trust in their science, use their own shit against them, because this is definitely telling you who's who. This is a whole separate video. I didn't even want to go into this. But anyway, these components are obliterated from consciousness, called splitting, perceived in someone else, projection, and then experienced and performed, for example, introjected by that other person. Cognate concepts are identification, incorporation, and internalization. God, I gotta save this. All right, because one of these smart asses come up to the camp. I'm gonna pull this out. This is you. This is you, Edom. All right. This is you. God dang it. There we go. I went through all that, and there it is right there. All right, so let's go back and let's open this video. Again, he's been released, and the judge, well, let's just let him tell you. This is from the Pascal show. This is my first time watching him, but I just ran across it, and I just thought this is one of 3 videos I'm going to be using, all right?
What's up? We have some new updates revolving around the Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. Now, we already know everything about that, and if you guys don't know the whole case, please go check out all the other videos that I've just been doing as of late. We've been talking about this for quite some time now, and there have been some new updates. Carmelo Anthony's bail was dropped from $1 million to $250,000, and now we have a new breaking piece of information. Knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen so soon. But Carmelo Anthony has been released from jail. That is a fact right now. We actually have a few first looks of him coming out of the courthouse. And of course, people are trying to ask him a whole bunch of questions and everything. And we're going to look at that video here in just a minute. But of course, we already know about this whole situation over a seat at a track meet. Real talk. And of course, he will have his day in court. But real quick, okay? It says Carmelo Anthony, the teenager who is being charged with okay, for taking the life of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, had his bond drastically reduced during his court hearing on Monday morning from $1 million to $250,000. His attorney, okay, argued that $1 million bond was unnecessary as his client had no history of criminal activity. So clearly, the judge agreed with that and said, yeah, let's just drop it. That's fine. We're going to drop it to $250,000 so this kid can get a chance to be with his family and everything. So this is what his attorney said. Give this young man a chance to get out of jail to be with his family. It's true. He is 17 years old, but at the same time, what he did is pretty bad. And so I know that there's a lot of people on opposite sides, on the opposing side, that feel some type of way about this, that he should not be out free as a bird right now. And clearly he's not free as a bird. I mean, he's going to be locked up in his own home. But, this is the other concern I have too. And I said it in my live. I am really concerned that people know where he lives. There's a lot of people that feel some type of way about this and want to take matters into their own hands. So I'm hoping that he stays safe.
You gotta remember, the dirty South. This is Texas too. Come on, even though it's 2025. Yeah. This is the whole history of this country. They don't want to wait. They want that extrajudicial shit to happen. All right. And as in most of those, the vast majority of those cases, when you read here, I got a book here, 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsberg and others at the hands of persons unknown, all those. It was a sporting event to these people. They weren't concerned about the truth. They just wanted entertainment. And entertainment was what? Stringing out people up. Cutting them up. All kinds of weird shit, because you're dealing with a base people. All right. That's how many scriptures how many scriptures in the Bible tell you that? Not only that, look at their history. It's like, what world are you people living in? But you so-called white supremacist adjacent people that just come over here and just suck up to these pieces of shit. All right. And now you're wondering why we're delineating what's going on now. But yeah, he's right. This is she got death threats. The judge here, damn.
His family also stays safe so that he can have his day in court. Okay, he has that legal right. That is his right as an American citizen, and I think we should all respect that for the most part. Okay, and then let justice rain down on him, however it rains down on him. Okay, but moving on the other table, prosecutors argued that the $1 million bond should remain in place, saying it's the standard for M cases in Collin County. After drastically lowering the bond, Judge Tucker ordered the 17-year-old student to wear an ankle monitor and be confined to his home should she bail him out. Of course, they said, yeah, we'll make that happen. That's fine. he'll be locked up at home, but at least he'll be home. He'll be with his family and all that stuff. Okay. A GoFundMe was created, like we already know. It has way past $400,000 in funds right now. Okay, to be exact, over $414,000 now, guys, that people have been donating on behalf of Carmelo Anthony. Okay, which is something else, right? So Anthony has been in cut.
Which really, as I said in my last video, pisses these motherfuckers off even more. All right, how dare you support this guy? I mean, don't they do this? They made theirs millionaires, as was the case. The video I made last night with what's that motherfucker's name? That killed the Jake in the subway up in New York, and then he's sitting with the president, and I think it was the vice president, watching the football game. You know, they raised over, and they're still giving him money, by the way, to the tune of over $3 million, and still, people tipping in $10 here, $20 there. Vivek Ramaswamy donated, was it 20,000 or was it 10,000? Someone else, I think it was a some kind of streamer, I can't remember, and some social media site donated 20,000. Yeah, because that's what they do when it comes to our people. They stay on code. But no, don't let it be, flipped on its head. And our people try to do the same thing to support, in this case, which appears to be just outright self-defense. All right, but no. And Philip Scott was right in saying this goes back to the that law they had back in the 1600s, the Casual Killing Act. All right. The hypocrisy, like was said, is just overwhelming here.
In custody since the incident on October 2nd. The Frisco police are saying that Metcalf was attacked, okay, and at this track meet, okay, and of course we already know about all the other stuff about the brother, his twin brother, holding him while he passed away and all that, which is still
they trying
absolutely
to
terrible.
Play on the emotions,
it's terrible,
of people. Fuck them,
etc. And I think one of the main things that we're all wondering right now, that I think,
and this guy, the way he's talking, you understand, he's trying to protect his.
Like the jury's still out on this particular
how
information.
YouTube is.
Was this self-defense or not? Right? Where's the video? Where's all the stuff? I feel like all this stuff, the footage and all that, should have been leaked by now.
Yeah.
Because you got people out here that are...
Exactly. And this is the way it appears to be, unless they're waiting for some big bombshell reveal. But it would appear, because in situations, usually when it's reversed, all right, they can't wait to leak the coverage. See, we got him. He's guilty. Same things happens with these police shootings and shit, right? It usually take them a long time, if they're at fault, to release the shit. All right. But let's see here. Again, the media plays, you got to understand, the media is a weapon of these pieces of shit also. All right. And watch this.
On opposing sides that are literally would go out of their way to expose him, to expose Carmelo fast, by leaking this footage.
Mm-hmm.
And law enforcement and etc., there's some bias in there too that feels some type of way about this as well. I'm surprised they haven't leaked the footage out, and I'm wondering why.
And that goes to
but, again,
Psalm 62. Let me get it here. Psalm 62nd chapter. All right. Let's see. Get rid of all this mess. All right. There we go. Had to hunt for that. All right, Psalm 62. And 4, it says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. It's a constant push to make sure Jake is portrayed in a bad light. This is the way it's always been done. And I think I covered part of why that is when I went into that psychology bit. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Song Smiling Faces from The Undisputed Truth, right? That's what you're dealing with. All right. It says, Psalms 4 and 2, O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing? Leasing means lies. Say lie. All right. So let's go back to the video. That's a constant assault on Jake. All right. A little bit more. Let's go ahead.
And in due time, the video footage will get leaked. Wait for it. It's coming. But let's take a look at this video here. Okay, this is Carmelo right here in the gray suit. He's coming out of the courthouse for the very first time as a, well, you know, I guess he's free-ish, okay? But he at least gets to go home and be in a warm bed and eat a warm meal and be around his family for now, okay? So let's take a look at this video.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say, Carmelo? Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim?
The victim?
The family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart?
Armed?
Carmelo, why were you
really
armed
trying.
at school?
They weren't at school.
Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
I mean, listen, clearly he ain't gonna say something. It always drives me crazy when I see things like this. Well, like they come running up to the victim or the alleged assailant, and they'll sit there and go, you know, do you have anything to say to the family? And it's like, do you really think he's gonna grab the mic and go, yes, I got something to say? You know what I mean? Like, I really doubt he gonna do that, right? He's just gonna keep on walking and keep it moving.
As his lawyers instructed him. All right, now let's go to Willie D.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? 16-year-old Carmelo Anthony, the young man accused of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco, Texas, is out on bond.
Brubaker.
I ain't got no problem with that, but some of y'all do, so let's talk about it. Why are y'all threatening that young man's life? Y'all ain't tired of that Klan talk? Calling up the phone? Hey, nigga, we coming for you, nigga. We coming for you.
Yeah.
He need to die. You gonna die. We gonna kill your parents. Boy, I'm not gonna even say that because y'all, you know, something like that. But anyway, that's played. The irony here is they talk about Carmelo like he's some type of common thug because he pulled out a knife and protected himself. That's right, I said protect, because by eyewitness accounts, Austin tried to jump him with his twin brother. Yeah, they tried to jump him. So, what if the shoe was on the other foot? Come on now, I know a lot of y'all out there racist, and I know you really watching me, and I know you can't stand the truth because you want to win whether you're right or wrong. You just want to win all the time. I got it. You're not going to win this time. Not this time. You're not going to win. Austin did not win that time. It's no telling how many other times he bullied somebody else, especially a black kid. There ain't no telling how many times he bullied somebody else. But this time, things turned out differently. And from time to time, that do happen. I don't know why black folks be letting folks get away with bullying them so much. I don't understand it. I really don't. But, you know, it happens a lot. It happens a lot. So let's not act like it don't happen. Let's not act like 99% or 99.9% of the time it happens, the perpetrator gets away without as much as a slap on the wrist. They don't even get a finger wagged in their face. They just go on about their business and do it to somebody else. And you can always tell the ones who've made a career out of it, because some of them be way in their 70s and 80s still acting like uncivilized much, trying to make people move, trying to tell people where they can stand, where they can sit, where they can live, where they can be, where they can exist. I'm glad he made bond. The $1 million was excessive from the jump. He should have never gotten $1 million bond in the first place. But that was a knee-jerk reaction to the community outrage. They going crazy. Oh, we gotta make an example out of him. You know, we gotta do something hard. We gotta go hard on this one. He's gonna get $1 million bond. We're gonna lock him up. That, first of all, especially in a case of self-defense, he should have never, ever been detained. He should have never been arrested in the first place. The double standards and hypocrisy in this case is staggering. The same people who are mad at Carmelo and the people who are supporting him are the same people who supported George Zimmerman.
Yep.
They're the same people who said Michael Brown deserved to be murdered because he was walking in the street. Or Trayvon Martin deserved to be murdered because he was walking home and he looked suspicious. He had a hoodie on. They thought that Breonna Taylor, a woman who was just in her bed, her own bed, sleeping, who was a first responder, never been in trouble with the law. They thought she deserved to die. Not because she did anything wrong, but because they are cop apologists. Because cops do a lot of their dirty work. See, they can't kill black people and get away with it, but cops can. So this is why they love them some police, unless the police lean on them. Until the police come after them, then that's when they got a problem with the police. But other than that, you know, Exhibit A, January 6th. Those same people, back the blue, back the blue, back the blue. Until the blue was not backing them. And they turned on the blue and killed at least 4 of them. And they don't even talk about those cops they killed. The media don't talk about it. See, that's why the media, I don't like mainstream media, period. Because they don't talk about none of that stuff when it comes to the cops they got killed. Yeah, they're going to mention it one time and then they're gone. Because mainstream media is part of that clan. They are part of that January 6th clan that tried to overthrow the government. They'll mention it one time and then they're gone. They're through. Because they don't want to remind you of people who behave like them. Or people who do their dirty work for them. A lot of times the people that are writers and stuff, the journalists, they support the movement by writing positive things about the community or the movement and omitting certain things. Yeah. And they try to humanize these uncivilized mutts when they get out of pocket, when they do dirty, low-down things. You see? Mainstream.
Part of that is what? Giving him a medical excuse. Well, you know, he was abused when he was growing up and all that other shit. Yeah. Trying to give wickedness
Mainstream media,
a medical cop
they're
out.
the ones who rush to try to humanize him. They're the ones who rush to try to create the narrative of mental health.
See?
Well, let's look into his background and let's see. Oh, his daddy was an alcoholic. His mama gave him a black eye in the 5th grade. The boy was traumatized.
He was a bedwetter up
we
until...
gotta help him. We can't just throw him away. We gotta help him. Nah, we gotta put him away because damn right there he killed some white folks. So we gotta put him away. You know, he done went too far. He killed white people, so we got to put him away. But we're still gonna help him make some money. We're still going to make it seem like he's a genius. He wasn't just a crazy dude. You know, no, he was smart. You ever notice that? How they always try to make their killers seem intelligent? Like, you ever met one dumb serial killer? No, they make them all seem like they're very intelligent. According to the witnesses, this is a self-defense case. But the prosecutor don't want to just let it go because it's not going to be a good look with the prosecutor and the community and many people in that community who they kick it with, who might be relatives and friends of theirs. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Yeah. So the prosecutor is going to be pressed by the community and even the judge and even the jury. Yeah. They're all going to be pressed to try to find that boy guilty. I say, if there is a trial, move it out of that county.
Yep. Change venue. Got to.
Because he's not going to get a fair trial. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
What's up? We got an interesting update revolving around Carmelo Anthony and the Austin Metcalf case. As we already knew yesterday, Carmelo Anthony's bond was dropped, reduced from $1 million to $250,000. Yes, I know. Got a lot of people upset, ruffled a lot of feathers out here in these internet streets, but it also made a lot of people very excited and very happy that he's getting out on a lesser bond. But let me just say this really quick before we go into any more information, okay, and before we take a look at this video here, okay, just a little quick trip down memory lane. It doesn't matter if he had $1 million, if it was still $1 million bond, or if it was $250,000, he was still going to be able to find a way to get out. It doesn't matter if he had to pay a little bit more money or less money. The inevitable thing was that he was going to get out. So that's one thing I think is very interesting, and why everybody's, and I'm still trying to understand why everybody's so super angry about this decision. It doesn't matter if it was $1 million or $250,000. He still, his family and his team would still find a way to get him out. It may not have been yesterday, but it would eventually happen. It was inevitable. Just so you guys know, just being real. But I do want to share with you guys the video real quick, just a quick clip, because we did talk about this in a previous video, but let's take a look at this really, really quick. Trip down memory lane.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Carmelo, why were you armed at school?
Now, from my understanding, he wasn't really armed at school. He was at a school track meet, but I get what she's trying to ask, okay? I get it, all right? But other than that, I mean, and if you haven't seen that video of him walking out of the courthouse, please go check it out. It's in the previous video from here, all right? And we are keeping a close watch on this whole Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. As you already know, the 17-year-old Austin Metcalf lost his life at this track meet at the hands of Carmelo Anthony. That is, without question, what happened here. Carmelo Anthony did take the life of Austin Metcalf. Now the question still remains. Is this actually self-defense, or is this cold-blooded M? That's the questions. Those are the questions here. But one of the things that's very interesting and very sad about this whole situation is that now a judge has to go into hiding, literally have to go into hiding because of her ruling. This judge, Angela Tucker, made the decision to reduce his bond from $1 million to $250,000. And a lot of people are feeling some type.
I don't recall any of this viciousness when it came to Daniel Penny. I mean by them. What's that asshole down in South Carolina that went into the church? George Zimmerman, even though he was told, and they got recordings of the 911 operator telling them do not follow. A gated community. But I mean, it's a little more to that. I'm not going to go into. You notice how, when I said the press, read, let's look, let me get this out of the way. Carmelo Anthony, Judge Angela Tucker, goes to ground as she's blasted for letting teen killer out of jail. Wow. Just wow, man. For all you people don't realize that, hell, we still in captivity, man. They can do, or at least they're trying to do, or to continue to do, let me rephrase again, all the things the tricks that they've been able to accomplish in the past. I'll put it that way. All right. You know, if it works, hey. But the thing that's on everybody's mind is concerning us too, aside from this, so far we haven't been able to be manipulated like, you know, with this election shit. A lot of jakes have said, oh well. Then they try to get us out in the streets with hoping we come to the defense of all these other people like we did in the past, these other groups. And Jake has just been like, whatever. Like, damn, what do we got to do? So here comes the latest thing. All right, let's see. What are we going to do? So this judge, they wanted 150, but they said, nah, they reached a happy medium there with, the 250. So he's out. The money he's been able to raise. Like I said at the onset of the video, how dare you? What are you people doing? Talking about our people. You supporting this monster. And yet, all you have to do is look what them being on code with whatever their people do to us. You know? We are, let me get it real quick. Oh boy, Brooke. Y'all just don't get it. You want that civil rights bullshit, that illusion that was created from that to be so true, but it's not. It's not. We were conned, we were fooled into allying ourselves with people that still fucking hate the very sight of us. The very mentioning of us, they hate. This is Baruch 3:8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. We're still under the curses. All right? For a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, taxes, wherever you go, tax upon tax upon tax, according to all the iniquities of our fathers. Yes, this is why we're going through what we're going through, which departed from the Most High Yahweh, our God, not everybody else's. That's important. All right, this is why we're going through what we're going through. And that only applies to us. It tells you, again, let's go there. We'll go to Deuteronomy 28. And we go down here to 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not. When you go into the first 14 verses of this chapter, all right, it goes into that. And 15 tells you, if you do not obey my laws, statutes, commandments, all these curses are going to come upon you. All right? Opposed to all the blessings, which are covered in the first 14 verses. All right? Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. This is what help identify who's who. Are them folks over there in the Holy Land under these curses? No. Because under the curses we would have no power. We wouldn't be able to make the money, control the money. In fact, run the very earth as those people do. We would have no power, as we don't. All right, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Why? Because thou servest not. How many times does keep saying the same thing over and over? Because thou servest not the Most High Yahweh thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore, 48, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, because we don't control nothing. We have to go through these motherfuckers. Everybody comes over here and they set up shop in our neighborhood and drain our neighborhood of its resources. And in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Nobody else fits that bill, folks. Nobody fits, all of them except us.
Of way. So much that she had to go into social media hiding, if that makes any sense. Let's take a look at this. This is very, very interesting. And again, I keep wondering, well, why is everybody going after the judge? At the end of the day, we all have to sit back and wait for the trial and let it run its course. Carmelo Anthony's team, their responsibility now is to prove that there is, without a shadow of a doubt, self-defense here. That's it. That's the only thing they got to do. And of course, I feel like once we see more information, once we see more videos, etc., this is going to be a completely different conversation. I feel like these videos that they say that they actually have are going to show us a whole new angle. And then we can see for ourselves, right from just seeing the videos ourselves. We can sit there and see, yep, self-defense for sure. Oh, no. He really did unalive that kid, and that is very, very sad. I feel like that's what we need to do. We need to sit back and let the courts and the evidence speak for itself. Let it cook, y'all. Let it cook. But you don't need to be doxing the judge in her, just because she made a decision.
They're mad because it appears to be a Jake. All right, and you didn't get that old crusty Edomite, with the salt and pepper or white hair, the avowed racist kid, whatever the hell he is. All right, that's what they're mad about. See, this is what happened. This is DEI. All right, yeah, that's why. So I'm gonna end it there. That's basically all that I needed to go into that. Of course, how you want to watch the rest of this, I'll post the links to all three. No problem. But yeah, for those of you that have been fooled, I don't understand why well, I do, but understand. But these are dangerous times approaching. Well, they're here. We kept trying to tell you to get your house in order per the scriptures. Why? Because these people are moving fast, and these people, what I mean by these people, I mean the people that rule this world. Remember, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who do you think that is? Yeah. So they're trying to kickstart this fourth industrial revolution, which is going to be melding man with machine. A lot of you scoffed and mocked at us for actually just bringing out the scriptures, what the scriptures actually say about Revelation 13, 16, and 17. This is what they're trying to do. This is them trying to put their mark on something that they didn't create. All right, and that's us. All right. Yeah. And to understand that, you need to read Exodus 21st chapter. All right, about the slave, the Hebrew slave, and the mark. Because what the Most High does in the spirit, on the left hand, this guy has to use his science. It has to be carnal. All right. So he wants to put something in you to track you, to manipulate you. All right. And that's why this system, this monetary system, has to crash. There's too much freedom in that. It has to go digital. It has to. That way he knows what's going where, when, how, all that. It's about control. White supremacy at its base is about control. It's control. He wants to be, as it says in 2 Thessalonians, 2nd chapter, and also Isaiah 14th chapter, Ezekiel 28th chapter, he thinks he's on par with the Most High. All right, so until the next video, hey, shalom.